Another Dooley Noted Podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point.
And one. All right. Welcome into another Dooley Noted Podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Shack Allen Mercantile Studios. Just before we came on here, I was working on my Regis Philbin impression. Plug me into what? Oh, I'm good to talk, but okay. Hello again, everybody. I'm Pat Dooley from the banks of the St. Johns River. All right, we are ready to go. We should have a good show for you today. Robbie Andrews, as I like to call him, because his name's Andrew. It's a long story. Anyway, he'll be in here in a little bit, and we got a lot of things to talk about. He and I are going to get really philosophical with you about Gator football. He doesn't even know it yet. I'm going to bring it at him. And we'll talk about all the other stuff. Cornelius Ingram on Monday. That'll be exciting to have CI on, and we can't wait to have him on. And I think we're going to have Chris Doring on Friday. Chris, of course, now is kind of freed up from all the stuff he has to do for the SEC Network, and so that's quite a lineup. We've really been bringing you guests, and we hope you appreciate it. I know a lot of you do, and especially all of our great sponsors, especially Titan MRI, our title sponsor. We could use another title sponsor to add to that. We could also, we've got the Shack Allen Mercantile Studios. We love them, but there's other things you can do. I mean, there's other options if you want to get involved. If you don't, I understand, but I'm just saying we want to keep this going. We want to make it viable and allow us to bring great people on and be able to give more stuff away. We have our Leonardo's and Millhopper Quick Picks. We're going to give you a 3-way parlay today. That'll be fun. I'm curious to see how many people jump in it or how many people go, hey, don't understand this. Hey, don't get this. This 3 things. I got to win all 3? No, I'm not getting in that. So you never know. All right, well, a lot to talk about. Obviously, Billy Napier had a presser today and he didn't really say a lot. I think the most interesting thing and the thing that got people talking at my house was when he talked about that Emory Jones is, he acted like Emory Jones is part of the team. I don't know if he's part of the team, but he's there and he's in class. So we all knew that, but when we're like, but what's going on? He acted like, hey, we got a great room. We got Emory, we got Anthony, we got the other 2 guys that everybody said we're going to transfer. We got, and of course, Kitna and Del Rio, but you also have, the kid from Ohio State, Jack Miller. So, but the thing is, the bottom line is these guys have all pretty much made the decision to go through the spring, see how this guy is as an offensive coordinator, see how he is coaching them. And, that's all, it's all they want to do. They might as well do it here, continue to make progress towards their degree to make sure they're eligible, if they're close to eligible, or maybe they can even graduate in some cases. I don't know. And I'm sure that comes into play as well. And it does set you behind if you're going to leave. But they want to wait and see whether they should leave or not. I think that's more of it than anything. Somebody will win this job in the spring, and they'll not announce it. That's my prediction. But the players will know, and the quarterbacks will know, and you'll see guys leave, and the guys who leave are the guys who did not win. It'll be interesting to see how that all goes. Florida continues to make the news, in terms of, hiring coaches and stuff like that, and getting guys that leave, the guys that don't leave. Cheston Blackshear coming back to Gainesville. I actually, one of the few phone numbers I have still. So I sent him a text, and he's happy to be coming back. I don't know if he's allowed to talk to the media, though. That's a very Saban-esque thing that coaches like to do, not letting them talk. But not a ton of news. I mean, out of the press conference today, he talked about having 50 walk-ons. He's trying to build Florida or Nebraska. That's what Nebraska used to do. They'd have so many walk-ons, and eventually they could, so they basically had 110 scholarships, because out of those walk-ons, probably 25 could play if they had to play them, and they were good for them in practice, and that's the biggest thing. walk-ons make you better. Bad walk-ons don't make you any good at all. Not at all. Good walk-ons make you better. And the more walk-ons you got, the more you have to choose from. So, this is like, I can see, I keep hitting this thing. Is that a me problem or you problem? Did you not line it up properly? I think I told you exactly 2 inches away, yeah. So we've still got, Robbie's here. Good to see you too. This show is just going off like clockwork today. What was I talking about? I forgot. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I totally forgot what I was talking about. Obviously, basketball losing. I had a great point, too, I was going to make. Can you play it back? No, you don't need to do that. Oh, gosh. People are distracting me from all over. All right, so obviously the loss in basketball on Wednesday, nobody didn't see it coming, I would think. That's a double negative, but, we all knew it was going to happen. When Florida cut it to 1, we're like, holy cow, these guys are – and that's the thing about this basketball team. They play hard. Nobody's ever going to say, unlike in football, these basketball players, they always play hard. And in the end, I think they have some of the problem that football had. The seasons are almost identical, really, when you think about it. Florida in football started out and people thought they were something, and they turned out to be nothing. And they went downhill very fast at the end. And their biggest problem was that sometimes you said they aren't that skilled. I think that's the problem with basketball. I don't think they're very skilled. I think they've got a lot of good players, guys who are willing to gut it out and grit and do all these hard things and get rebounds and stuff like that. And that's great, and that's how you win basketball games, but you've got to have skilled guys. If you have no skilled guys, it doesn't matter. You can grit and gut and do all that, and it's not going to work, especially with what they've had to play. These 3 games against ranked teams, these are NCAA quality teams. When I say NCAA, I say Final Four quality teams. Alabama I may be wrong about, but certainly LSU and Auburn are, and they've still got to obviously play 2 games with Kentucky. These are really good teams. Florida's not. They're not a good team. They're a team that could fight and scrap and have runs and stuff, but they're not skilled. And that's what, if you're not skilled, you make half your free throws. And that's why they lost. They lost this game because they made half their free throws. Now they go up to South Carolina, and which always plays them tough because South Carolina gets in your face and they grab you by the jock strap and they pull your underwear. They give you wedgies, and if you don't like it, you lose because you let it bother you. If you say, hey, watch me dunk on you with a wedgie, then you win. And that's what it's been for Florida. Florida's had trouble at times, but we'll see what happens. I did see that Lenardi still has Florida in the tournament as an 11 seed, and I think this is one. And again, you can never prove that Joe Lenardi's wrong with a mid-year prediction, or not even mid-year. It's still early in the year, a January prediction. You could say, hey, look, Lenardi was way off when he had Florida in the tournament. Well, how do you know? They didn't even start voting on it yet. So it's just an opinion. I think Joe Lenardi does a great job, but I don't think Florida's in. I think they're out, completely out. I don't think they're close. They have one quality win, and that was over Ohio State. The FSU loss or win has not blossomed the way they hoped it would. And then they missed some opportunities. Now, they played 3 really good teams these last 3 games. They'll be fine. Or will they be fine? That's the point I guess I'm trying to make. Will they be fine? I don't know the answer to that, because the bottom line is, as we go forward with this team, the schedule does soften up a bit, but it's still tough, and I don't know if they're any good. I don't know if they can win games. We haven't seen it. We saw them win a couple. Not enough. So we'll see what happens there. All right, so we got a lot of other things we can talk about. By the way, Florida 50th in the net rankings, which is not good enough right now, I wouldn't think. I did want to say before we bring Robbie, and I know Robbie wants to talk about somebody who's passed away this week. I was telling my wife, I said, it just seems like everybody's dying. Like people that we know and care about are dying, and I think it's because people that we know and care about are now at that age where you die, whereas maybe people were dying before, and Princess Di dies, and that's, it's a big deal. You don't forget where you were that night. Actually, I was in the press box, Doug Johnson's opener against Southern Miss. I remember that. But now it feels like there's 3 a week. Bob Saget was devastating. I mean, one of the great guys in the world. But also, we lost my father-in-law this week as well. Karen's been unbelievable with him, helping him through all this. It's been a very difficult situation. Just old, like my dad, kind of. It's really fascinating. But I keep saying this, and I go, but there's no connection. My dad died on the day of the national championship game in basketball. Her dad died on the day of the national championship of football, like 9 months apart. Isn't that weird? It's just weird. But let me tell you what, he was a great man. He was a great man who did a lot for me. He's the kind of guy that at Christmas would get everybody to get into a football pool. Nobody else wanted to make the effort, but all right, because the colonel did it. He did. And this guy was a war hero. He flew missions all the time in Vietnam, and he was unbelievable. He really was larger than life. The first time I met him, my wife at the time was just my girlfriend, asked me what I thought, and she's reminded me of this many times, and I said he's kind of an odd duck. And at the time, it was she thought it was not nice to say something like that, but I meant it. And in the end, that's what it was. That's what you need. You need to know odd ducks. You need to know people that aren't like everybody else, that don't conform, that just say what they think. And maybe their filter could be a little bit more. But he was great about that stuff, and he loved the Gators. Loved the Gators. And it wasn't a tailgate until he showed up with his deviled eggs. When he did, all right, tailgate, here we go. Great guy, was so great to me. He was, I think, the proudest thing about, not the proudest thing, but I think he really loved the fact that his wife or his daughter married a sports writer. I think that was great for her. I mean, for him, he loved that. He loved that she did. So we had a lot of great conversations anyway. I'm getting emotional here. But I know I'm going to bring Robbie on. The first thing we're going to talk about is somebody else who passed away this week, which was very difficult for us. But we'll also talk about, we're going to talk a lot about what happened at Florida. Why did it all change over the last 10 years? We'll talk about that with Robbie. Of course, Robbie brought to you by Hand Law. We'll bring him on, and we will talk about that here on Another Dooley Noted Podcast, of course, presented by Titan MRI from the Shackow and Mercandani Studios.
Car accidents, trucking accidents, motorcycle accidents, and wrongful death. If injured or killed by the negligence of others, who will fight for the compensation you deserve? Shackow and Mercadante, 5 lawyers, more than 100 years of combined legal experience, millions in settlements and verdicts. Call Shackow and Mercadante, 371-3000. Rebuilding lives.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Another Duly Noted Podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Celebration Point. You can watch and listen to us on Facebook and YouTube for every podcast that we do on Mondays and Fridays at 2 o'clock. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, any of the other 39 platforms where you can find this podcast or your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below or call me if you want to do some advertising at 352-317-3444.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Bite Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballyhoogrill.com.
Hello there, everybody. I'm Pat Dooley, of course, from Another Dooley Noted Podcast. And this is a great Adam Brewer, and he's just opened up a place here, Adam Brew To Go. What would give you the idea to do this, to have a to-go place like this?
We really like the fast concept, being able to get the barbecue. Now we have this new online ordering. So before it was a call ahead carry out, quick service. We have like a curbside kind of a deal where everything's ready to go for you. And then we thought, wow, we have a really great dine-in concept, but how can we make this streamlined for the customer and make it easy and accessible for all parts of town?
Adam's Rib Co. To Go. Come on down and enjoy it.
More than 6,000 veterans take their lives each year, with more than 500 of them occurring in Florida. The Fire Watch Council was established to unite our war fighters and allies to stand watch and build a mutual aid network of veterans and civilian volunteers across Florida trained to identify risk factors of veterans in crisis and to direct those veterans to needed resources. You can invest an hour to join our support network by becoming a watchstander to stand in the gap and support our veterans. Go to thefirewatch.org to learn how to get involved, get off the sidelines, and take a stand on behalf of our veterans. All right. What's going on, Robbie? Robbie Andreu is here. It's good to see him. I haven't seen you since New Year's, have I?
Yeah, last time you saw me, I had a Santa hat on.
You did? Yeah, but that was like in June or something, I think.
No, December.
All right, Robbie Andreu, of course, we love having him on. We bring him on here every couple of weeks. And, of course, he's presented by Hand Law, a Florida law firm which helps clients with government. You can learn more about Hand Law by visiting its website at www.hand.law. The firm is available for consultation in Jacksonville. And, hopefully this year's better than the last one, but it's off to a bad start. And we lost a important colleague in Tim Rosafort, who, of course, you knew very well because
I worked with him.
You worked with him down in Fort Lauderdale, yeah. Great guy.
Yeah, really great guy, Pat. And, I knew he had gotten sick, and that's why he retired. But people that didn't know that he'd gotten sick were stunned by the whole thing. Right. And I was, too, because it happened so fast.
Sure. For some reason, and I don't even know what it is, very aggressive form of early Alzheimer's. Yeah. I mean, that is weird that I don't even know what that means, but
how does it kill you?
I don't know.
The mind. What happens?
I think it shuts down your organs.
I think it does.
I'm not a doctor.
Whatever. It was very sad.
But
very
tough. Very tough because I thought about this the other day, and Robbie, you knew him really well. I knew him very well, and I saw him a lot in the golf, like at the TPC and the Masters and stuff. And I always said this because he was the first guy to make it big. He was the first guy to be an insider. He was the first guy.
He transitioned from newspaper to TV.
He was a leader in that category, and I always said that Tim Rosafort, Rosie, you called him Rosa Hack.
Rosa Hack. I was Andrew Hack.
Yeah.
And Larry Dorman was Door Hack.
Door Hack, and I always said he was big time, but he never big timed anybody.
Oh no, he was always the same guy, Pat. I mean, we played golf together. I loved when we would cover the Masters and rent a house with Dorman and Rosa Ford. And Dorman would play the piano at night. We'd be drinking, and then Rosa Fort and I would jog in the morning. It was a great time.
No, he
one
was
of my
just-
favorite memories of him.
Yeah, and even when he, made it big time.
Yeah.
He was, but he would, if he saw you, he would stop you or me and say, "Hey, what's going on with the Gators this year?"
Yeah,
What,
well, we ran into him at the U.S. Open in 2010 up in Washington. He stopped and talked to us for a little bit. It was great.
Yep.
Just like old times.
So Tim will have one for you tonight. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Great guy, and we talked a little bit earlier about my father-in-law dying. I know you knew Bob Eisenheimer
Yeah,
as well.
really
and
good guy. Good Gator.
He was a good Gator. There's no doubt about it. So we need to quit talking about people dying.
Yeah, let's get back to life.
And instead talk about Alabama's defense dying a little bit. But
It did die a little bit.
here's my thing: Georgia was the best team, right?
They were all year except
all
for the
year.
one game. Yeah.
Yeah, and I knew that it wasn't going to be the same kind of thing, but I still think if Jamison Williams doesn't get hurt, that game's totally different.
Yeah, when he got hurt, Pat, I thought...
And he would have had a
there's-
touchdown
yeah.
if he threw a good pass
Oh,
on
yeah.
the play.
When he got hurt, though, I thought their path to a victory now is very
Yeah.
narrow now.
Yeah.
And they couldn't pull off, and Georgia beat their butts in the fourth quarter.
Didn't you think that they, in the fourth quarter, Alabama ran out of gas, which surprised me for a Nick
It
Saban
seemed like
team.
they did, yeah.
They just started running. They go, all right,
Yeah.
we're just going to start running the ball.
Yeah.
And then they would hit a pass. So, but congratulations to Georgia. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, look, they did it. In fact, I'm going to do a thing for GatorsWire.com, which is going to be the 5 reasons it's not that bad that Georgia won a national
Yeah.
championship.
But, Pat, it was a lot of hard work for them to finally get that national title.
Yeah.
Now what's going to be harder is staying on top, because we've seen that in college football.
Oh, I know.
Getting there is hard. Staying there is harder.
Absolutely.
So good luck, Kirby.
Well, it is hard, and it's amazing in this conference. So the teams are able to do it, and the way this conference is dominated, especially when you look at the fact that now the last 3 years it's been 3 different teams
Yeah.
that have won the national championship from the same conference.
And the conference is only getting better, Pat. If you look around, look how A&M's recruited. Kentucky now is a factor.
Tennessee's a factor.
Yeah, it's gotten bigger and stronger.
It's not a factor. Vanderbilt.
No, they're the one team that's not
Yeah.
a factor. But you know who's right in front of them right now? Florida, unfortunately.
Well, and that's the thing. I wanted to bring this up, and this is what I talked about. I wanted to talk with Robbie about, which is how we got here. Why did this happen? And I was looking up a stat today because I was thinking about it. So, and I think Evan's got this up so I can show it. This is the records for the last 3 Florida coaches. 636 winning percentage, which is usually pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's not bad. That
If
doesn't
you're
get
in
you fired.
Kansas, they start talking statue.
Yeah, they do.
Okay?
Yeah, the overall record
636.
doesn't look that bad, does it?
No. And they were all different circumstances. I understand that. That loss to Georgia Southern never got out of anybody's mouth.
No.
McElwain had problems with the administration. Mullen didn't want to recruit. So there were all different reasons. But this is the school that I went to, okay, and you went to. This is a school where they fire coaches over a 10-year period with a 636
That's
winning
amazing.
percentage.
When you look at Mullen, 34-15.
Yeah.
But he mailed it in this year, Pat.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a lot. I mean, he had no energy, it seemed like, and I think that COVID year took a lot out of him.
Well, it did, and I feel the same way about Mike White right now. I think, look, I'm not real happy with what's going on here, and I think the heat starts. It doesn't become real heat yet, but he can see the flames.
The problem, Pat, if you look at how they've played and how frustrating it is watching them, and you look at their schedule going forward, I don't see a lot of wins on there.
Well,
Not a lot of sure wins on there.
and they better come now because they obviously didn't come over the last 3 against ranked teams.
Yeah, well, it better come tomorrow because South Carolina is not real good
And South
either.
Carolina always plays them tough.
Yeah, they do. Frank Martin's got his number.
So that's a whole nother story. But how we got here in football is what I wanted to talk to you about. So it's been so weird. Now, first Urban leaves, what if Urban leaves after 2009? He goes, I can't coach.
Yeah, I'm
and
tired.
never comes back into coaching.
Yeah.
Just does TV. There's never that
Hangs
ghost
around
hanging
usually.
over the program.
He becomes the ambassador.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a junior ambassador.
Yeah, junior ambassador to Spurrier.
All aboard the Love Boat. But I mean, what if he does that? What if he doesn't? He after 2009 he has it. He goes, look, I'm burned out. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get back into coaching, maybe for 6 or 7 years. And the next coach probably probably wouldn't be Will Muschamp. Might have been somebody else, but it could have been so different. But that whole scene, and with them pooping the bed in their last game, don't forget they played for an SEC East championship on Florida Field.
I know.
At the end of that year against South Carolina, got embarrassed.
Yeah. And the thing is, Pat, and now Meyer denies saying it, but after that loss at FSU that year, he said the program was broken and needed to be fixed. He says he didn't say that, but he did. We were there. We heard it.
Well, the difference is he said, I need to fix it.
Yeah.
Now it turned out he went, nah, I don't.
But it really wasn't. It gotten to be a bit of a mess there.
Yeah, and I think that there was a lot of things, and he's never really, because he denies ever saying it, and because Will Muschamp told me, and I'm just saying this on the record, that he told it to him, because of that, he never really explained what it was. Because so how exactly was it broken? But so Will inherits a bad program, a program with entitlement. They struggle a little bit, but he gets them to a level, and then for some reason
they dip right
just
away.
Goes right down, and they bring in a new guy, and right away there's success. And then now it happened with all three guys, and you can maybe make the argument that maybe, and I'm not blaming the fan base, but maybe this job is too hard for a lot of people.
But I think, Pat, it's the coaching hires. Muschamp had never been a head coach, so no matter what his pedigree, you didn't know what was going to happen when he became a head coach. So that was questionable. Then the McElwain thing,
which was the only guy
he was the only guy out there worth.
They couldn't find anybody.
Yeah, there was nobody else. They should have. I don't know what you do in that situation, but that was questionable there. And then when Mullen got hired, Pat, my initial reaction was, I didn't think it was a great hire. And then I thought it was after the first year. But now it comes back. It just wasn't. It was a short-term fix.
If anybody who had a relationship with him in the first go-around, I think maybe, but because nobody did,
nobody did.
So I think there was that. But I mean, look, I think he did wonderful things here. But that's what the point of that graphic.
Yeah,
is a lot of guys did wonderful things here. They just couldn't
here we are where we're at.
They couldn't build. They had early success and then fell off the cliff. And I don't know if that's the culture, but there's three different cultures.
But now you look at Billy Napier, Pat. He's got this plan. Did these other guys have a plan like this guy does, where he's got everything, where he knows what he wants to do and how he's going to do it?
I want to see.
Other coaches never seem to. If they did have a plan, they never told us about it.
Oh yeah. Well, I've told this story before, but when I went up and interviewed Coach Spurrier in Washington.
Yeah.
And the Gainesville Sun sent me up there, and he took me around, and, like, all right, let's go talk to. How about it? We'll bring the owner down here, and we'll have him talk to you. So he brings me over to Marvin Lewis, who is the defensive coordinator, and of course went on to be
what a great
head
coordinator
coach.
he is.
Great, really new defense. And he goes, talk to our local guy. So I'm like, I'm in Arlington, Virginia. I'm not the local guy.
You're the local guy in Gainesville, not there.
But Marvin Lewis sat down and talked to me, but then he wanted to show me this notebook he had that had his entire plan for when he became a head coach.
See, that's a guy that's ready.
Yeah. He wasn't using any of that here.
Yeah.
It was for when he became a head coach, and I think Billy Napier has been putting all this scrapbook or something together for a long time.
And he's waited for the right opportunity to come along, Pat.
Right.
Tennessee, Auburn.
He could have taken a lot of them.
He wasn't ready. That wasn't the right place. I think he found the right place. We'll see.
Especially a place that said, we'll give you a blank check.
Yeah, and you can hire 1 million people if you want and have an army.
Think about this. If you were I'm just going to throw anybody out, gymnastics, soccer, whatever, coach at Florida, and you went, hey, if you give me all the money I want, I could probably bring in a pretty good group too.
Yeah, I need about 8 more assistants to hang around here.
I need somebody to analyze free kicks. But I don't think
My question, though, Pat, is the new facility already outdated? Because where are they going to put all these people?
I don't know. They're going to be hanging off each other.
Some in the old office or what?
My guess is that they're putting them in the practice facility. All right, we've got a 3:30 practice. All of you in the left end have got to move your desks over a little bit.
Reboot your computer.
Yeah. Make sure you're plugged in when you do it. But
and watch for flying balls.
All right, we got a comment on YouTube from your old pal Gregory Hardy Har Har.
Hardy Har Har.
So many things can be traced back to the Urban's 2010 zombie year, but who would have been the candidate for UF had if they could have hired after 09?
The scary thing though, he was always pushing Adazia.
Well, and that's
Adazio being the offensive coordinator was a mistake too.
well, and that's what Jeremy Foley said. I'm not doing it.
No, there's no way.
But if he had left, just up and left and said, I'm sick and I got to, who would have been in 10?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't know.
I don't know. Because, I mean, obviously.
Okay, here's one. Spurrier.
Yeah. Wouldn't have been bad. That's right. So Spurrier was only 4 years into his South Carolina job.
Yeah, I mean, you could have gotten a good 8.
All right, I'll come back there.
He could have been 8-10 years here winning
I'll
games.
come and save things. Yeah, that's what I like to do. Like to save things. Yeah, that's what I do. Are you pointing at something there? What? What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm being directed.
We can edit all this out, right? You know. All right, so yeah, but I mean that is part of it. What you said, you know, if the fact that they had that wasted year in a way, and that's how good Urban was as a coach and how good the players were, but they still almost won the SEC East.
Well, I know.
And the East wasn't very good.
No.
And then you bring in another guy, and it didn't work out. And again, the firings were so different. That was the other thing, because Will got fired because it just wasn't working, and they hated doing it.
There was just no way out of that.
Right.
Pat. There just was no way.
McElwain got fired because they wanted him fired, and they didn't care if he won. Yeah,
and he lied. You can't do that.
I don't think he lied. Although
no, I'm talking about the death threats.
I'm not saying he lied about death threats either.
You're not?
I know that there was a death threat. Now,
did you call it in or what?
I did not. But I've been told this by somebody who would know.
Oh.
One death threat. One person called, left it on a voicemail. She played it. The secretary played it for McElwain. And he said, "Well, just erase it. Don't worry about it." So
But
why
then
he? But then don't
issue,
bring
though.
it up.
Yeah, don't make it an
was
issue.
A mistake there. But I'm going to get to the Shark in a minute. And then another coach was fired because he wouldn't recruit. That was the only reason.
Yeah.
There was nothing else about him you didn't like, except he couldn't recruit. But did you see that story? And Bianchi wrote about it, I think, today, but maybe for tomorrow, that Barstool actually went to Central Michigan and did an entire interview with all these different people, and they have found the guy who's on top of the Shark.
Yeah, have you seen that video yet?
Yeah.
That's great.
It was
That
unbelievable.
really good.
So now all of a sudden McElwain's off the hook and he's like, all right, okay, well, you know, I got on a plane.
I never thought that was him on the Shark because one thing, the guy on the Shark was much fatter than McElwain.
Yeah, and I think that's why he always took it as a major insult.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was humping a Shark.
Yeah.
But still people are going to call him, you know, people that are fans of other teams still going to call him Shark Humper and all that
I love
stuff.
Mac when the guy came in with a fishing pole. He went, "You got to be effing me."
But that's the thing. For these last 10 years, this last decade, Florida's had a lot of things to make fun of. The shoe throw, the shark humping, the guys blocking each other.
Yeah, it's been a comedy of errors.
Yeah, so it's either been like a team that gets kind of to the top and never quite even in the real picture, and then falls off the face of the earth, and then fights its way back. And I don't know. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
I mean, too, you look at the records, Pat, there are 3 SEC East titles.
Yeah, exactly.
And mixed in there.
And 3 New Year's 6 bowl games.
Yeah.
And, I mean.
So there's a lot of good, and it looked like the program was really heading in the right direction a few times. Like when Muschamp had 12-1. Was that it?
Yeah. 11-2.
11-2.
But,
yeah,
but
it
that's
looked
what I'm
like
saying.
they were on the way.
84-48. That's pretty good.
And Muschamp could recruit. So
What if you went 84-48 at Syracuse?
Oh, lifetime job.
84-48 at
Kansas, like you said.
Kansas for sure, but even
How about
like
Vanderbilt?
Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Maybe Ole Miss. I mean, Vanderbilt for sure.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, they would definitely erect a statue.
Oh, yeah.
It would be unbelievable. So, anyway, all right. Well, one thing we always like to do when Robbie's on here, because it's one of his favorite things to do, is to do this, that, and the other. Of course, it is presented, as always, by Ballyhoo Grill, where I just was the other night.
Always a great spot.
Had a great little dinner there, and, well, it wasn't little, but
What'd you get?
I got the fried gator. I like
You
the
love
fried
that,
gator.
don't you?
Yeah. And Karen got something, and so we kind of.
So you eat what opposing teams eat when they're playing Florida that week.
Yeah, because I don't look at it that way.
No.
In fact, I'm going to tell you, I'm not even upset with Georgia winning the national title. I'm just
It
not.
doesn't bother me either.
No. I was thinking, what if FSU won it? Oh, that would, yeah.
You wouldn't like that, huh?
No. Or Miami. What's your list of how you wouldn't like it?
How I wouldn't like it?
Yeah. And I think, let me just put it this way. I think Georgia's around 6th or 7th on my list.
Georgia's, yeah, I think I would put LSU ahead of Georgia.
I would
almost,
too,
because
yeah.
The Florida-LSU rivalry's gotten real big.
Yeah. The Florida-Georgia
Not as big as
rivalry is
Florida-Georgia.
more important.
Yeah.
But I think the rivalry, the hatred is different between Florida and LSU.
Okay, here's who I'd put up. UCF. Get the, okay? Put them way
New
up
rivals. There
Yeah.
we go.
Put them up.
Florida's going to be on top of everybody.
there. Yeah.
All right. So you go probably FSU, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying if they win the national title, you might not be able to go to sleep that night.
No, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, that would
Well,
irritate me a little.
you're going to wake up at 3
Okay,
anyway,
I'll
so
do
it
the
doesn't matter.
locals. Okay, I'll do Florida State, Miami, Georgia, Central Florida,
LSU.
LSU. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I put Georgia 6.
Yeah.
So there.
And Alabama bothers me a little bit because it's getting old.
Well, that was the
Same team winning all the time.
That was the one moment that kind of helped me get through that game because
exactly.
we were all rooting for Alabama because we didn't want Georgia to
Yeah,
win.
but when somebody else wins, that's a good thing.
Yeah. But there was a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett, I think
What
it's
a
a
great
great
story.
story.
That's a
Guy is
great story.
drinking from a $6,000 bottle of whiskey before he goes on Good Morning America. He's my favorite quarterback of all time.
He's a guy. His story. You can make a movie out of his story. There's no question.
If you can make one out of Kurt Warner,
yeah,
you can
definitely make
him.
one of him. No question.
But anyway, all right. Here's the this, that, and the other. I was going to make another point. I keep forgetting.
You're getting old, Pat.
Brain. All right, this, that, and the other, of course, is presented by Ballyhoo Grill, Ironwood, and Dar Shakow Insurance. And we love our sponsors and hope you guys stay with us because we want to keep this going every Monday and Friday. We may change days up. We still haven't decided on that, but we're going to have a conversation about that in the next couple of days. And again, next Monday, Cornelius Ingram's going to join us.
That'll be good, Pat.
Friday, Chris Doring will join us. We got a lot of great guys coming on, a lot of good people. And we always have Robbie Andreu about every couple of weeks, and I know everybody enjoys that.
CI's done a great job at Hawthorne, Pat.
He has.
Unbelievable.
And women's basketball and football, obviously. But not surprising. He's really good.
You can coach them up.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Robbie. This was, so a couple of years ago, did you know much about, what did you know about Louisiana Lafayette, the school? We stayed there that one time in Lafayette.
We did.
For the LSU game in 2005, right?
But I didn't know a whole lot about them. Did they not change their nickname?
Well, I don't know if they changed their nickname.
Were they the school that came to Florida back in the 90s and they took the spear off their helmet because they didn't want to piss the Florida players off?
I don't remember that.
There was some school.
That's a good
Louisiana.
story. I've never heard that story.
They took the the arrow off their helmet because they looked like FSU.
It might have been the because I think Monroe was the Warhawks or something like that.
I'm
so
not
it might have
sure
been that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a great story, but it's not true.
Yeah, I can't follow it up.
So you're like an internet
But
guy
it
now.
happened. I remember writing.
I don't even
about it.
remember that. I don't
Yeah,
even,
the coach said we're taking the spears off the helmet so they don't to keep the Florida players getting more fired up than they will be.
Good.
Maybe I dreamed it.
I'm glad they were fired up. But anyway, the point is, it was a oblivious place to us. You know, I mean, we knew where Lafayette was, but we didn't know much about them.
Well, I mean, they had not had any success over the years, probably, Pat.
Well, that is we've kind of seen what they've been doing, and I think that all of a sudden, Florida is interested in their coach, and we're kind of paying more attention. And then they hire him, and he's coaching in his championship game. And guess what? We all are Louisiana Raging Cajun fans. We are fired up. And the weird thing is that on the internet and on social media, they kind of became Gator fans too. And they all said, hey, we're all in this together. Treat our coach the right way. They were all very, very positive. Now comes the other where apparently he's taking everybody that's any good.
Yeah. Stop taking our players and coaches. Leave us alone.
Now they're mad.
Go FSU.
They're doing tomahawk chops. But again, he's not stealing them. He's offering them jobs. And in the case of like this kid Montrell Johnson, the freshman of the year in the Sun
That
Belt.
was a great get
Yeah.
for Florida. But you look at how thin they are in the running back room this spring.
Exactly.
It's a big get.
So he gets him. There's another linebacker that just went in, and I don't know if he's going to come here.
He was an all-conference guy.
And I'm sure that he's only taking guys he thinks can play at this level.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's
It's
what
not like he's going
gonna
to say, "Yeah, come on, we'll give you a full scholarship." No, those are valuable things. So that is the other, and now they all hate.
That's
Florida.
it really turned sour in a hurry.
In a hurry, it did. We got to take a break, as we always do around this time. Robbie, you want to stick around or you want to go home?
I'll stay with you, Pat.
All right, so he's going to stay with us.
Unless you want to get rid of me.
No, I love having you in here. So we'll do that. We'll take our break, and we'll have our commercials, and then we'll come back here. We'll wrap up the Friday show on Another Dooley Noted Podcast, of course, presented by Titan MRI from the Shack Allen Mercandani Studios.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Car accidents, trucking accidents, motorcycle accidents, and wrongful death. If injured or killed by the negligence of others, who will fight for the compensation you deserve? Shakow and Mercadante, 5 lawyers, more than 100 years of combined legal experience, millions in settlements and verdicts. Call Shakow and Mercadante, 371-3000. Rebuilding lives.
Another Duly Noted Podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Celebration Point. You can watch and listen to us on Facebook and YouTube for every podcast that we do on Mondays and Fridays at 2 o'clock. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, any of the other 39 platforms where you can find this podcast or your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below or call me if you want to do some advertising at 352-317-3444. Hello there, everybody. I'm Pat Dooley, of course, from Another Dooley Noted Podcast. And this is a great Adam Brewer, and he's just opened up a place here, Adam Brew To Go. What gave you the idea to do this, to have a to-go place like this?
We really like the fast concept, being able to get the barbecue. Now we have this new online ordering. So before it was a call ahead carry out, quick service. We have like a curbside kind of a deal where everything's ready to go for you. And then we thought, wow, we have a really great dine-in concept, but how can we make this streamlined for the customer and make it easy and accessible for all parts of town?
Adam's Rib Co. To Go. Come on down and enjoy it.
More than 6,000 veterans take their lives each year, with more than 500 of them occurring in Florida. The Fire Watch Council was established to unite our war fighters and allies to stand watch and build a mutual aid network of veterans and civilian volunteers across Florida trained to identify risk factors of veterans in crisis and to direct those veterans to needed resources. You can invest an hour to join our support network by becoming a watchstander to stand in the gap and support our veterans. Go to thefirewatch.org to learn how to get involved, get off the sidelines, and take a stand on behalf of our veterans.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Fight Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballyhoogrill.com.
Okay, welcome back to another Dooley Noted Podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Shack Allen Mercandani Studios. We have all of our fun stuff to get to, and that always includes Robbie when he's here. I know he's disappointed he didn't get to pick the Leonardo's a Millhopper one this week, but we'll save that for a little while.
Okay.
We got to get some more people in. For one thing, guys keep missing. They aren't doing too well. We'll start off with
guys got to get their game together.
We'll start off. Yeah, I know. Their picking hadn't been very good lately. By the way, I won the picks against Drew Copeland.
You did?
Yeah.
What do you win for that?
Lunch.
Oh, that's good. Where are you going to go? I don't think you can say.
I think Shula's.
Oh, that'd be good. Not Spurrier's?
Well, maybe Spurs. Come on, let's do it. All right. By the way, okay, let's start with three things. Three things, of course, is presented to you by Hand Law. And Hand Law, of course, is a great organization that they're double sponsors, and we appreciate them so much. They're a Florida law firm. They help clients with government. You can learn more about Hand Law by visiting its website at www.hand.law.
Come on, Pat.
What does the last line say, Robbie?
The firm is available for consultation in Jacksonville.
Well, you know Jacksonville very well.
Yeah.
You saw me get arrested in Jacksonville.
I did. I was trying to. Well, that was a weird day.
That was a weird day.
Athletic socks.
I don't
in your
have a
back
record.
pocket.
I'm okay. It's okay. Don't worry. It was just a questionable security guard.
It was during Christmas shopping is what it was.
It was. So three things. Number one, the Joker, and that's what he is, now is going to get deported because not only did he lie about things and doesn't want to get vaccinated, but he tested positive for COVID, and then a couple days later spent time with kids in Turkey and another place
that's just
without a mask on.
Stupid.
That guy should be put in physical isolation.
Yeah.
And I don't care if he's has
Put him in the dumbass ward.
Yes.
You know?
There should be a dumbass ward.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
You're a
What-
dumbass.
I don't feel. You're a dumbass. We're gonna have to put you in here.
You're
for
in
a
the
while.
ward.
Yes, you go in this dumbass ward for a while. How's that? How do you like it there? That's the way I see that.
He belongs in there.
All right, number two, and I asked this question, Robbie: is the O-Dome what it used to be? The game the other night, I know my daughter was there. The Rowdies are great. They're still loud.
They're doing their part.
But nobody else is showing up for these games. And I know they're losing, and I know that's part of it, but that's just an excuse for people not going. How much do you think it is that Florida fans have just become apathetic towards basketball? How much do you think it's the way they built that new arena?
Well, I think the way they built the new arenas irritated a lot of longtime ticket holders who suddenly are out of where they used to be or whatever. I've heard a lot of people complaining about that, Pat.
They made it a place
and they're
to
just
go,
not going to games
Yeah,
anymore.
they made it a place to go eat nachos and cheese and wine instead of a place to go and scream your head off.
But you know, that alumni side is what I always called it.
Yeah.
Opposite the Rowdies was never great compared to the other parts of the arena. But now it's just like,
you know what I
you
would
look
do?
over there, it's empty.
You know what I would do? I would have one game where I told the Rowdies, you sit on this side and you get to eat whatever you want. And alumni, we're going to put you on the other side. And you know
Make
what they
some
would
noise or else.
Yeah, make some noise or else, or just some. There's got to be a better way to maybe try some things.
Okay,
Maybe-
here's I've got one, Pat. Expand student seating.
Yeah,
I mean, they're only limited to that one thing down below, right?
I know.
They ought to open it up to them, so they don't have to stand in line for a day or two to get in and go to the game.
Kelsey's done her best. That's all I know. All right, and finally, number three on three things presented by Hand Law. The ACC commissioner came out today and said, you know, we really don't want expansion until at least we get 4 more years down the road.
Because they don't have any teams ready for the playoff anymore.
We aren't going to be in it.
Yeah.
But no, the thing is, the SEC's like, yeah, we're fine with that too. We've always been fine with 4 because we're going to get 2 of them in almost every year. So
yeah, they've got no problem.
We're
with
cool with that. And so there's this whole mess. It is just so frustrating for those of us who would love to see a 12-team playoff.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And just like to watch that much football, but it's not going to happen until at least 2025 when they get the contract runs out.
We'll be really old then, Pat.
This is why we need a commissioner of some kind.
Yeah.
So I may not see a 12-team playoff. I may not.
You might not.
I can try, but maybe I'll just. What if I did this?
It's not a given. I
won the lottery, okay, and I took the money and I put it up and I said, "You guys have a 12-team playoff between 12 teams. I decide, and I'll give you everybody $10 million." Boom.
That might work.
Let's do it.
You got to win the lottery first, so.
Yeah, and
it's got to be a big payoff.
I can make it back. All right. So that is 3 things presented by Hand Law. We'll see where this goes. It's so weird that remember how excited everybody was when they were going to 12-team playoff, and everybody was like, "This is great," and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we're not walking this back. This is
and now
we're gonna do now that
what happened? What happened?
All right, the Adams Rib to Go Gator of the Week is I just watched this game last night, and it was actually really good. I enjoyed the heck out of it. And Florida won. They beat Auburn last night. They are now 12-5 and 2-2 in the conference.
Wow,
and
what a turnaround for that program.
Kiki Smith, that's how many games they won last year. It was 12. Kiki Smith is our Gator of the Week. And after with 19 points, 16 of them in the second half, this team, I don't know if this is a novel idea, Robbie, but they made their free throws. Like they made
the men's
8
team
of 8.
Doesn't do that.
Oh, they made 8 of 8 in the fourth quarter.
Clutch.
This team would the men's team would need at least
they would have gone 2 of 8.
40 free throws to get to that many. And look, I know the ball's a little bit smaller. It's just slightly smaller, and it's easier to shoot the women's ball, but they're smaller people too, so.
You better watch where you're going with this.
Yeah, I'm frustrated with the men right now. I'm frustrated with everything that's going on there.
I know what you're saying.
But I want to congratulate them, and she's doing a great job.
Do you think they might keep her, Pat, full time?
It's going to be
it might be an option now, the way they're playing.
Well, and here's another thing: she's cheap and available.
Yeah, just
and
like me.
With all the money they're spending on football, there may be some things go. Yeah, we'll just pay you $500,000 a year, and instead of going out and hiring a guy for $1.5 million, and save some money that way.
And what happens if the men's team falls apart and they have to make a change there? That's going to be expensive too.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to be really bad.
Yeah, I would think so too.
But I'm telling you, it's the support. Even the supporters are waning. I can name one of them.
Yeah,
who lives kind of near me. But anyway, all right, so that is our Adams Ribco to Go Gator of the Week. It's time for our Leon Honors and Millhopper Quick Picks. Not many people have been getting in, so we're going to go a couple more weeks, but I can tell you we got a 3-way parlay. We want to qualify at least 2 people, so all you got to do is get 2 of these right on the parlay. And I want to see where Robbie wants to go. Okay, Florida, South Carolina, who you picking?
South Carolina.
Okay. Well, Mr. Negative.
Well, no, have you seen him play?
Nattering nabobs of negativism.
Well, where else would you go? Why would you pick Florida?
Because South Carolina's not any good either.
Well, on the road.
They play a lot of people. I think they have like 13 players that have played 5 minutes a game. They've had a lot of COVID problems. But
you know what's really frustrating about Florida? They'll fall behind, they'll make this great comeback and get right to the edge, and then they fall back.
And
back to 8 and 10.
Somebody
then the
hits a 3.
Yeah.
Somebody makes a great shot.
And the Gators never hit a 3 when they need it.
All right, so you got to pick Florida South Carolina game. You got to pick the Sunday game between the Bucks and Eagles. Bucks giving 8.5.
It's Bucks.
That's a lot of points. 8.5.
Bucks by 14.
And then the Monday game, Monday night, we have
this will be entertaining.
Game. Rams in Arizona. Rams giving up 4 at home.
This could be one of the most entertaining games in the playoff. All the playoffs.
It could be one of the great weekends in sports, really, to watch all this stuff. So you got to pick. Just get 2 of the 3 right. That's all you got to do.
Okay, I picked the Rams.
So you're picking Rams, Bucks, and South Carolina.
Yeah, I think I got all 3 of those right.
Well, I'm curious to see what kind of response we get because I'm complicating things just for the fun of it because there's a lot going on, and I want to see who's really smart here. All right, so that is our Leonard's and Millhopper Quick Picks. I was just in there the other day. Saw Kyle. We're working on some stuff for the golf tournament, and if any of you know anybody who might want to be interested in the golf tournament and sponsoring that or sponsoring this, or
that's always a fun event.
Yeah. Oh, you know it is.
Yeah, I do.
Are you planning on playing this year?
Did I play last year?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I've got you down.
Okay.
But people are getting.
Pin me in.
We're almost at the point where I'm going to have to say, sorry, somebody will have to drop out. So just so you know. But if you want to get involved in the tournament, one thing that you can get with a major sponsorship is a foursome. So that would be your best way maybe to get in. All right, it is time finally for the Hesser and Kipke games of the weekend. Robbie, we all love a great weekend. I think this has got a chance to be one. The games of the weekend are brought to you by Hesser and Kipke, a law firm based in Hale Plantation, specializing in employment, workers' comp, and family law. Visit their website at www.hklawfl.com or call Ken and Jennifer at 352-339-9920. We got a lot going on this weekend, including golf, which it's almost like these courses are too easy.
What do we got with golf?
It's the Tournament of Champions, but
Is that in Hawaii?
it's in Hawaii again, and every
So
hole,
prime time golf we got,
every hole's downhill.
Yeah.
And they're hitting like putters,
but not downwind.
no. So I'm gonna wait and get excited when they get to the West Coast.
Yeah.
About golf. But here's what we have: SEC hoops, really good game. It's an early game too. Tennessee, which of course is ranked 22, at Kentucky, ranked 18th.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, and of course you got the Gator games at 1, so you can watch that as well. That's the best SEC game. The best national basketball game, Texas ranked number 21 at Iowa State. Number 15, my niece is going to school there, and she's kind of made me into a little bit of an Iowa State fan.
Pat,
so.
how in the world did Iowa State get better than Florida in football and basketball? That could be another show. Another day.
That is not a false statement
No,
either.
it's true.
Wow. I could see wrestling.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, but this is kind of stunning to me.
Well, I think Iowa State got better and Florida got a lot worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point, and that's what hopefully somebody's going to take control of. The NFL game, New England at Buffalo, 8:15 game.
Freezing, right?
It's Buffalo's favored by -4. The game time temperature, 2.
2?
2
What
Utes.
about wind chill? Probably
It's 2 Utes. No,
15?
the wind chill is 13 mile an hour winds, so the wind chill is like -6.
Oh my gosh.
So here's what I would say to that. Looks good on TV from Florida.
Yeah, really.
Can't wait to watch it. That's going to be a lot of
It'll
fun.
be fun.
Buffalo is a 4-point favorite. The other game, the game on Sunday I want to watch, Robbie, San Francisco at Dallas, 4:30.
Yeah, that should be entertaining.
Dallas a 3-point favorite. That'll be a lot of fun to
You'll
watch
be
that
negative
game.
rooting in that one, right?
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
there's also, the history. I'm sure we'll see Chris Berman when he was interviewing him after the catch, and he's on the field. We'll see that a million times. But so that'll be fun to watch. And then I wanted to mention these two things with Florida. Florida men's tennis. You're defending national champs. I thought Chris Harry wrote a great story on FloridaGators.com. He talked about, nobody had a good 2021 except these guys.
Yeah, they had a great 2021. And, of course, they are opening up. How about this? Friday, they play at number 5 TCU. Sunday, they play at number 3 Texas. So the gauntlet.
hey, why not? It's not like losing is going to kill you, but you find out what you have. And also, I want to make sure everybody knows Sunday, gymnastics, I think it's 4 o'clock. Alabama is, of course, Alabama. We all know the history there between Florida and Alabama. That's at the O-Dome, so you can go watch that on a Sunday. It's a rare Sunday game. Or meet, tumble.
Meet. It's
whatever
a meet.
you call it. And this team is awesome, and I can't wait to get out there and watch some of them play. So, Robbie, appreciate you being in here.
My pleasure, Pat.
Anything you did for your, New Year's Eve resolution?
I didn't really just eat healthier, things like that.
You know what I did?
What?
Be nicer to Gator fans. I'm not going to call anybody gidiots anymore.
Yes, you will.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it.
Well, I'll start calling that then.
No, well, that's your choice. But I'm just saying I'm going to try to be nicer. These are the people that butter my bread, right? Florida fans, they're the ones who watch this stuff.
That's true. They do.
And I know they want to hear strong opinions both ways, but there's no reason to call them names. So that's my goal.
That's a good
How do you
one,
think
Pat.
it's going to work out?
Not real well.
I told the story about how I went to the Outback Bowl and my New Year's resolution was not to eat chicken wings, and that's all they served.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I just went,
That was, I'm giving in.
it lasted less than one day.
So once your first Gideon comes out, there's gonna be flowing out of you all year long.
Well, I hope not. I hope not. I hope I can hold up with this. Thanks to Evan for being back from illness, and we appreciate him being back. Thanks always to Robbie for doing such a great job in here. We love having him in here. Don't forget, as I said, on Monday, Cornelius Ingram, one of the great coaches and one of the great players in high school history around here, and a really good college football player in Florida.
Yeah, he really was.
As well. And
Yeah,
I think,
a good guy.
Pretty sure Friday Chris Doring's going to join us, and we keep the great guests coming.
Yeah.
Nobody better than Robbie Andreu. Until next time, live from the Shackau Mercandani Studios, presented by Titan MRI, this is Another Dooley Noted Podcast saying I am deep, way back, and I am out of here.